Hello everyone, my name is Zelluna and welcome back to the channel. Before we get into things today, there's a few announcements I would like to make. There also will be one at the end of the video, so let's give a little incentive to stick around, wink wink. First off, welcome new subscribers, thank you for giving me a chance. We have already completed our goal of 10 subscribers, so let's aim for 20 by this next Saturday. Next, in case you missed it, there is a Discord Yu-Gi-Oh! Nexus tournament that I will be hosting. If you would like to join in, the description of that Discord will be down in the description below. We are aiming at 16 players. Without that, we really won't be able to do anything. We need a minimum of 8, but we're aiming at 16. If you would like to participate, all you would need to do is subscribe, join the Discord, and leave a like so that I know it is you. The winning player will receive an extra vote for the upcoming community choice video coming Friday. Also, make sure that you check out our other playlists because we are going to be starting up some series soon, including some 7 Days to Die challenges, some Subnautica, some top 10s for Yu-Gi-Oh!, all that kind of fun stuff and more. So you may want to subscribe to make sure you can find your way back to the channel to get into that. As always, leave your comments about the game in the description below. I will do my best to respond to each one. So, with that announcement out of the way, let's get into it. Today, we will be reviewing the indie game Buriedbornes. This will be under our review section for those who are interested, as well as its own individual for Buriedbornes content. As mentioned, Buriedbornes is a mobile indie RPG game. It's very impressive, and the creator, based on my knowledge, built it all on his own without a team, minus a translation team, of course. I played it when it first released in early 2017 in its alpha stage, so I think that it makes me pretty well qualified to review this game. So, part 1, the menu UI. The menu is, in my opinion, pretty well designed. Everything is in a pretty organized location with create a new character up front. Your lab, jail, bargain, statistics, etc. all in the toolbar, making it pretty easy to find what you're looking for. When you go to create a class, it's not pretty easy to tell what a job is. Next to each menu icon, in the Create a Class menu, there is a question mark. These marks will explain each aspect of it, such as if you select the one next to a job, it will respond. Jobs have default skills and equipment. You can use a job for free once you have unlocked it. Pretty straightforward answer, however, it doesn't tell you what their equipment nor really what their abilities are. I mean, you can click on it, the side thing that says status description, and it will tell you like what their start out abilities are in terms of like permanent abilities, but in terms of what your actual attacks and what your actual starter equipment is, it doesn't really tell you that. So that's kind of one downside. In combat, the menu is pretty easy to work with. It shows your character HP at the top, the move list down below. With that, it makes it pretty easy to see your attacks, HP, shield, and barriers, as well as having symbols on your health bar to show element effects, such as Reflect, Poison Needle, and Petrify. On top of this, it's also easy to view your full list of effects. You can click on your name either in the navigation screen when you're picking where you're going, or to the combat screen to see your equipment, permanent abilities, and total effect list. You can also click on each ability to get a description of what everything does. Some items, such as legendary weapons, also get a bit of flavor text added to them, just to make them a bit more unique. Back in the alpha, we didn't have any of that stuff. Everything said preparing for translation, so you basically had to take an ability, take a guess, and hope it did what you wanted. I have plenty of memories of that. I can talk about some of those if you guys want some of that and other Buriedbornes content, so let me know in the comments. In total, I would say the overall menu and UI gets a 10 out of 10. It's easy to maneuver and navigate, has a lot of explanatory information, and easy to familiarize yourself with. Part 2, the PvP. The PvP is one of the more lackluster things in the game. When the game first launched, PvP was a bit harder due to the effects of Eternal Dark not being in the game. Eternal Dark absorbs all permanent abilities on legendary equipment and adds them to your permanent ability list. With PvP, you play against other player-made characters, except it seems like an AI controls them. There's no real official statement on that, so we're not 100% sure. kind of like you were fighting a wandering corpse in the middle dungeons. Wandering corpse are marked by red roses on the movement map. PvP may grow a little stale as over the years it has transitioned from how lucky you got, plus strategy and class, to having Eternal Dark and absorbing all abilities possible, then having a good class, amulet, contract, and rolls. It takes a lot of time to build all this up, and some things are event specific. The main one being Eternal Dark is a lab part from the previous event. You can still get the Eternal Dark, getting it the old-fashioned way, get the Dark Orb, find a second Dark Orb, have Eternal Dark, absorb Eternal Dark, then drop it for something else. But that takes a lot of time, and you enter PvP, aka Karma, at the end of floor 10 in the starting dungeon known as Labyrinth. All in all, I would say the current PvP, Karma, and Wandering Corpses included, I would give it around a 6 out of 10. It's challenging for those who enjoy a challenge, but with the current state of the game, the staple ability is just a little too important to not have for newcomers or those who are unable to get the Eternal Dark Lab part during the event. Part 3, the gameplay. The combat is turn-based, similar to old school RPGs. You make a move, then the opponent, etc., until someone's HP hits 0. There are some aspects that can kill you as well, such as curses or petrify. Petrify is a negative ailment that will kill you, that will kill anything actually, that hits 100% petrify. Your avatar will turn to stone and you will die no matter what your HP is at. Death is permanent in this game. If you die, your character is gone and you have to restart from square one. A very nice challenge, and with no tutorial in the game, very unforgiving. Luckily, unlike in alpha when I joined, most things have been translated, as I said before. It's rare to get an ability that hasn't been translated, maybe once in every blue moon. When I started playing, you basically had to take an ability, figure out through process of elimination, trial and error. Now you get a pretty decent explanation, as I've also stated before. However, there are some things that do exist, such as max HP / level plus 15 or plus 30, things like that. They can be interpreted in many different ways. Could definitely use a clear translation for that kind of ability. The attacks are pretty well balanced overall, whether you're using a strength, dex, intelligence, or pipe class. Each one seems like it's specific for something. Strength is best for high damage physical attacks, dex for multi-hits, damage over time and avoidance, pipe for healing and combo attacks, intelligence for crits and multi-hitting. If your ability has a red letter C on it, it's a consumable. They could use a buff due to how hard it is to regain consumables without using another ability slot like reuse, and even then most consumables are not worth using. If it has a letter T on it, it will not end your turn using it. These can range from weaker strikes, to buffs, to heals, consumables, etc. I personally find these to be fairly balanced, in most cases a pretty big necessity to every build. If you aren't using T abilities, you need to have ninjutsu so that you can use all abilities every turn at a +1 cooldown cost. Unless you max it, then that cost is ignored. If you have an ability that has an orange F on it, it means first strike. These moves will activate no matter what the cooldowns are anytime you enter a new room. So if you're in a room and you previously used a first strike ability, then the next time you enter another room, it's going to smack them again. It doesn't matter if it had a 99 cooldown on it, it will smack them again. Unless your opponent has alert. Or when you're entering a door room. These ones are depicted by rooms that have literally a door on it. These attacks usually are like normal strikes, but usually either hit hard with low accuracy, high accuracy with low damage, a buff, and mixed damage, etc. So you might get ones that will deal high damage, have a lower accuracy, or my favorite ones, the ones that hit and then give you a buff. Some issues I have with the combat system is how rare some abilities are. Even a strong roll build, which I use quite often, it's hard to get abilities like Sword Dance, Crusade, and Willow Stance. These are obviously only some examples, but some are pretty crucial to some classes. Some, such as Crusade, are a staple in the majority of Valkyrie builds. Very few can use a Valk and not have it when when they don't have this ability, they are probably playing Valk like a warrior, which doesn't go well. Overall, the gameplay is solid and a good balance of movesets, but struggles to do some classes needing specific abilities that are extremely rare, putting gameplay to solid 8 out of 10. Part 4 events plus added content. They are constantly adding typical bi-monthly. These events usually bring in new jobs, amulets, contracts, missions, all wrapped up in a whole new themed dungeon. Event dungeons usually follow a holiday theme such as Christmas, Valentine's Day, or Halloween. Sometimes the events make all new meta changes, such as Eternal Dark, for example. Sometimes the new classes become new meta classes, such as when the new Moon Queen first came out, or when the Spectre first came out. Sometimes they are gimmick classes, like the ones from the current event. They really badly suck. That will be explained more in the next video, however, so if you are interested in it, I will be putting a link in the description and to the ending cards. So, events come in a solid 9 out of 10, some events being lackluster in their additions, and some being overpowered in their additions, and just a difficulty balance from new to old. There have been several standard classes that have been kind of phased out of the game in terms of being usable in Karma, such as the Dragoon back in the alpha and in the beta. The Dragoon was widely considered the noob's class because it was a fairly simple and very easy class to build, and it became very powerful as well. However, with events passing and closing, the Dragoon has definitely fallen from favor. Yes, if you went to Karma today, you would probably still find a lot of Dragoons, but that's most likely just players that have not built their characters up to the point of getting these new classes. Because in the end of the day, if you're fighting against a Dragoon, all you need is one ability, such as Mirror. You will go straight through the reflected damage that it does, and it basically just crushes it. Part 5 conclusion. In conclusion, Buriedbornes is a very solid indie mobile game that is free to start playing, and none of the things you can buy with real-life money give a blatant advantage. All things you can buy only reduce the time it takes to grind. Plus, the most important ones that you would want to get do not cost that much, only maybe about $2 USD. You could also earn the gold shards through events as well. They started doing that in the recent 2 events, I believe. Meaning, you can now get those things for free with enough grinding. With a good UI, fairly good gameplay, decent PvP, and solid events, I can easily say with good confidence that the game ends in a solid 8.25 out of 10, as it's got nothing negative to really say, minus the PvP not being as good and balanced as it could be. It's a game I've spent many hours in and many to come. I could easily recommend anyone pick up the game and give it a shot, especially if you're looking for something to kill some time with, or just a new mobile game, or even just a new RPG game in general. There are several reasons to recommend it, but not many besides the PvP. Not recommend it. Well, that will do it for this video. As always, thanks to those of you who made it this far. Just for you, give yourselves a pat on the back, as this was not easy to make. If you enjoyed it, I would appreciate if you left a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and share with your friends and family. As a reminder, if you would like to compete in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Discord tournament, I will leave a link in the description below. Be sure to show the channel Facebook and Twitter some love by giving it a follow. Also, we'll link that in the description. Lastly, as an announcement, the community video vote is going on. All you have to do is vote, be subscribed to the channel, and put a comment down below. What would you like for Friday's video to be? The current video requested is another Subnautica one. That's the one that we have so far. If you would like to see this, show support in the comments, or if you would like something else, or have a new idea entirely, let me know in the comments as well. Once again, thank you for watching the video and sticking around through the announcements, and I will see you guys in the next video.